Caroline Dowd Higgins. Thank you for listening to Your Working Life, my podcast series featuring thought leaders in the career and personal growth arena. And I am delighted to welcome my very special guest to the show today, Marcello Pedalino. And I'll tell you, we road warriors really do need to plan, because even if we do have that extra 20 minutes to eat in a restaurant, we can't always control the good, healthy food that we want to put in our bodies. So I applaud you for taking your health and wellness and making it a priority, because I think so many people have excuses, and you've just said, look, this is my body and I need to honor it.
Well, thank you. And I'll add to that, it's not just about options of good food when you're on the menu when you go out to eat. It's also portion control. And that's something that it took me a long time to realize. What is the difference between these people who are in better shape than I am? And I was never really out of shape per se, but there was just people who were just more dialed in. And when you look at the amount of food that restaurants give you, and trust me, I love food and I'll eat a full portion of a veal parmesan that they give you at a restaurant, but you do realize after a while you don't need that big of a portion to feel satisfied. So that's why it's always best, if you can, when you do have the time, to cook for yourself and control those portions.
Absolutely. It takes a little time, but it's an investment in your health.
Absolutely.
Marcello, you speak so eloquently about knowing your worth, and so many of the people in our global listening audience have services they're offering or products they're selling, and quite often they undercut their value. Did you ever have this challenge in your career? Because you're earning top dollar, you understand your price point, you've got extraordinary clients of global significance. Tell me about that process.
Well, the process, in my opinion, begins with patience, Caroline. Fortunately, I was in a position when I started where I had sold candy in high school and I had enough money to buy my own equipment. I never needed credit or had to borrow money, or was at a position when the phone rang, I had to take that job. I had to book that event. And that puts you in a power position. So you were able to be patient and wait for that right client, wait for that event where you could charge what you felt you were worth. And I think a lot of people make the mistake. I understand what it's like to be hungry and you've got to make money to pay the rent, that sort of thing. But if you can be patient and earn enough money to start yourself off on a level playing field, you're going to be at an incredible advantage with your prospects, meaning they won't be able to control the conversation when it comes to, well, hey, can you just do this? It'll be great for promotion. Or we've all heard that line, I'm sure. I was fortunately in a position where when people called and said, when it came down to price, I gave them my price and they said, oh, that's 2 to 3 times what the other folks here in the market are charging. And I said, well, that's up to them as far as what they charge. These are our prices. And then I just waited. I learned how to wait that 5 or 10 seconds, that uncomfortable pause. Some people stayed on the line and said, well, all right, then we'd like to hire you. And some people, Caroline, they said, honestly, I'm sorry, well, that's not going to work with our budget. Okay. But I can tell you that 2 to 3 months later, or even 2 to 3 years later, after using other companies, perhaps they weren't satisfied. Sometimes they were. But if they weren't, guess who they called back? They called back when they did have the budget. I did the event, and yeah, I had to wait 3 years to book it. But when I did book it, I provided the services and the talents that they had expected. And I've kept those clients over the years. So to me, it starts with patience.
And I love that. You talk about this in your book. You can either get a lot of small fish or a really big fish. And I know that comes from a film reference, and it's so true. But being patient and waiting for that big fish will pay off. Marcello, what a joy to have you on. I want to reiterate the name of your book, Celebrate Life, How to Live It Up, Discover Fulfillment, and Experience the Joy You Deserve. Tell us how we can buy the book and follow you online. You're very active in the social media world.
Well, thank you, Caroline. The easiest way to get in touch with me is to go to celebratelifebook.com. That'll take you to my blog, and my entertainment portfolio links are all going to be there.
Brilliant. One-stop shopping. And I really appreciate you sharing your wisdom and expertise on the show today.
My pleasure, Caroline. Thank you very much for having me.
Be well, Marcello. And I want to thank all of you for tuning in to Your Working Life, where my goal is to help you design your career destiny so it doesn't happen by default. I'm Caroline Dowd Higgins. Take good care.